Hey everybody, before we get started with today's Montreal Canadiens video, we're all the way up to 475 subscribers and I want to hit 500 after this video. So do me a favor and look to the bottom right hand corner of this video, hit that subscribe button and let's talk some Montreal Canadiens. Now that the Montreal Canadiens have played 2 preseason games, we can kind of get an idea of what Dom Ducharme has planned in terms of line combinations up front for the Canadiens. The biggest thing right now is looking at the top line. Brendan Gallagher is slotted in on that top line right now with Tyler Toffoli and Nick Suzuki, but he's likely not going to stay there because Cole Caulfield is out for a week and he's likely to slot back into that spot when he returns healthy to the Montreal Canadiens. So that leaves Brendan Gallagher going all the way down to the third line, and this is the first season where a $6.5 million contract is set to kick in for the Habs. So there are questions about whether or not you're going to be utilizing Gallagher's biggest strength if he is placed on that third line, which is expected to be featuring Joel Armia and Jake Evans as his center. If you look at what Gallagher has done in years past for the Montreal Canadiens, you can kind of come to the conclusion that no matter what line you place him on, he's going to drag his line mates into battle with him, and that's a good thing for this Montreal Canadiens team. But the biggest issue is I want Gallagher to produce offensively because we know what he's capable of. This is a player that can score 30 goals in a given season, but there are question marks about whether he can do that with Jake Evans as his center. Joel Armia looks really good so far in training camp and looks as though he's going to build off of last season's playoff run with the Montreal Canadiens, where he was arguably one of Montreal's best forwards, and I think that Joel Armia is due for a big season. But is Brendan Gallagher going to get the most out of his skill set if he is placed on the third line? Time will tell, but I think the Montreal Canadiens need to have him slotted higher in the lineup to be able to get more out of him offensively. It kind of feels to me like Dominique Ducharme wants to have a more responsible third line. I think a lot is going to depend on what he is going to do with Mike Hoffman whenever he does return to the Montreal Canadiens lineup. But all signs point to Hoffman starting on the fourth line when he does get back into the Canadiens lineup, and of course being on the #1 power play unit for this Habs team. I think as a result, you really need to ask whether or not you're going to get the most out of Brendan Gallagher on the third line. He should be one of the players that leads the Montreal Canadiens in ice time behind Nick Suzuki and whoever else is going to be up there this year for this Montreal Canadiens team. I'm assuming it's going to be Christian Dvorak, who should play a pretty big role for the Habs this season, but Brendan Gallagher should be amongst the top 3 or 4 bodies on this Habs team in terms of ice time, and they really need to get more out of him offensively, and if they hope to do that, I don't believe Jake Evans is the right center for him right now. I believe Brendan Gallagher should be on that top line. Depending on what you want to do with Tyler Toffoli, you could slot him down a little bit lower in the lineup, potentially even putting him on the third line because we know Toffoli is a defensive responsible player on the wings, but I really believe Gallagher needs to go up in the lineup in order for this Montreal Canadiens team to succeed this season. That's it for me today from Cook's Corner. Let me know in the comment section down below where you believe is the best situation for Brendan Gallagher to be slotted in this Montreal Canadiens lineup. And as always, give this video a quick thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'm Zach Cook. We'll see you later.